Thank you so much for the opportunity. Today I'll be presenting our work, Conduit, program a transparent near data processing using multiple compute capable resources in solid state drives. This is the outline of my talk. I'll start with a bit of background and motivation for this work. So this is a very high level overview of a modern SSD. As many of you know, the SSD consists of an SSD controller, which has multiple embedded cores, and it has flash controllers which communicate with the flash chips via shared channels. There's also a DRAM component which is used for storing recently accessed data and part of the address mapping table. Now, we look at SSD as a very rich substrate which provides multiple heterogeneous components and which are compute capable, and also it enables three NDP paradigms inherently. We'll first look at in-storage processing, where we perform computations using embedded cores in the SSD controller. And a large body of prior works have shown that these embedded cores can accelerate complex tasks using filtering, aggregation, encryption, and search. Then we look at the DRAM, and processing using DRAM is a very popular NDP paradigm. And here we perform computations using the intrinsic operational principles of the DRAM. Several PUD works like AMBIT, SIMDRAM, and MIMDRAM have shown that bulk bitwise operations and complex arithmetic operations are possible entirely within the DRAM chips. Now, if we move to in-flash processing, where computations are performed using the flash chips structure, we see that several IFP techniques like Aries flash enable arithmetic operations inside the NAND flash chips by controlling the latching circuit in the page buffer. We have Flash Cosmos, which enables bulk bitwise operations within the NAND flash chips by simultaneously reading multiple pages. So with this, we look at the trade-offs of these NDP paradigms, and we observe that ISP supports general purpose computations, but the WIMP embedded cores provide limited performance. Processing using DRAM enables computations in a very highly parallel manner within the DRAM chips, but in the context of an SSD, it requires transferring operands from flash chips to the DRAM via bandwidth limited flash channels. If you look at IFP, it eliminates data movement overhead and provides high computation parallelism, but the operation set is quite limited. So in this work, we try to ask these research questions. Is a single NDP paradigm good for all workloads? Do we need to combine these NDP paradigms? And which is the most suitable NDP paradigm for each computation? So we conducted a case study where we examined the performance bottlenecks by hand mapping parts of the workload to multiple computation resources. And we evaluate the host CPU, the ISP paradigm, IFP, and try to combine ISP and IFP. In this case study, we don't include PUD processing using DRAM because its data movement overhead is very similar to ISP, and the computation capabilities lies somewhere between IFP and ISP. So in this case study, we evaluated hybrid workloads like aggregation and sorting, where it involves both computation and data movement, and IO intensive workloads where the workloads are dominated by data movement, for example, databases and bitmap indices. We also have more workloads in the paper. So if you look at the observations for hybrid workloads, we observe that offloading to both ISP and IFP actually provides performance improvement by up to 40% over IFP alone. And this is by mapping computations to the most suitable computation resource and reducing the data movement. If we look at IO intensive workloads, here I'm showing the overall execution time of each of these paradigms normalized to host CPU. If you look at IO intensive workloads, we observe that naively combining multiple computation resources actually negates the offloading benefits, and we observe a 15% performance reduction on average. And this is because we have to move a lot of data across these computation resources. So the key takeaways of this case study are no single computation resource consistently performs well across different workloads, and the performance bottlenecks are workload dependent and vary across different execution phases of the same workload. And offloading to multiple computation resources provides benefits, but only when done judiciously, as we just saw. So we looked at prior SSD-based NDP techniques, and they have the following limitations. They map computations to one or two NDP paradigms, and they fail to exploit the SSD's full computational potential. They lack the generality across a wide range of applications, and they're also not programmer transparent. So since there are no prior works which propose application transparent offloading of computations in the context of an SSD, we looked at other domains. We see that there are several NDP offloading techniques that explore partitioning and mapping application code segments between host and NDP units near the main memory. So we categorize them into two groups: bandwidth-based offloading, which makes offloading decisions based on bandwidth utilization of the host and NDP units, and data movement-based offloading, which makes offloading decisions to minimize data movement across these compute units. So we adapt these offloading models for SSD-based near data processing. And if we look at the effectiveness of these offloading techniques, we show the performance of these offloading models over CPU, and we also compare it with an ideal approach, which makes several unrealistic assumptions. The first one is that there is no data movement across these compute resources. So we assume zero data movement latency. It always selects the best computation resource, which gives the lowest execution latency, and also these compute resources are available for computation immediately. There is no resource contention. So if we look at the two offloading models, the best of the two, which is the DM offloading, still falls short of an ideal's performance by 2.5 times due to its narrow offloading model. So what DM offloading does is it prefers a single computation resource in order to reduce data movement, and it causes queuing delays and resource contention. So with this, what we set out to do is to enable a programmer transparent NDP in an SSD that effectively utilizes these multiple computation resources within the SSD. It makes offloading decisions that are both workload and system aware, and it improves performance and energy efficiency of a wide range of applications. So to this end, we propose Conduit, a general purpose programmer transparent NDP framework that dynamically offloads computations at instruction granularity to multiple heterogeneous SSD computation resources. It has two key steps: a compile time pre-processing step to identify offloadable code regions in the application and transform them into wide vector operations, and a runtime dynamic offloading step that takes these vectorized instructions and maps them to the most suitable SSD computation resource. And this is done based on application and system characteristics. Let's look at the compile time pre-processing step in a bit more detail. So we take the application code, and then we run a custom compiler pass to identify offloadable code regions. And during this compiler pass, we perform loop auto vectorization to transform scalar instructions into wide vector operations that match the SSD's internal parallelism. So we also leverage partial vectorization so that some of the partially vectorizable code regions can also benefit from parallel execution in an SSD. Then we extract lightweight metadata such as operand type, operand locations, element sizes, and so on for each vector operation, and embed this metadata with the intermediate representation to reduce runtime scheduling latency and preserve programmer transparency. So once we have this optimized intermediate representation, Conduit converts this IR to an executable which is capable of running on the ARM cores, and we transfer this binary to the SSD by repurposing the existing NVMe admin commands for firmware update. This concludes the compile time pre-processing step. Next, we look at runtime offloading step of Conduit. So in this runtime offloading step, Conduit performs this runtime offloading in the SSD controller to preserve programmer transparency and avoid changes to the storage stack. Why we do it in the SSD controller is because it has real-time knowledge of all the SSD computation resources, like resource utilization, contention in the shared channels, and etc. So we have an SSD offloader component in Conduit which maps each vectorized instruction in the ARM executable to the most suitable computation resource within the SSD, and we do it based on a cost function. So both these components are running on one of the embedded cores in the SSD. So let's look at what this cost function does. So this cost function looks at application characteristics and also current system conditions to evaluate the cost of offloading an instruction to each computation resource. So we look at several factors like data movement latency, the cost of moving data if the operands are not in the target computation resource. We then look at expected computation latency, which is the estimated instruction execution latency on a computation resource based on the operation type. Then we look at data dependence delays, the delay for operand availability, and resource queuing delay. So we look at the computation resource execution queue and see how much delay is caused by pending instructions. So we combine all of these delays, and then we get the total execution latency for each resource. Then we look at all the resources that are available and then choose the one which gives the lowest execution latency, and that gives us the offloading target. Once we get the offloading target, we have to perform instruction transformation to transform each vectorized instruction to the native ISA of the computation resource. So I'll quickly go over what we do here. So for if the target computation resource is ISP, then we convert the vectorized instruction into ARM Cortex ISA and schedule the instruction for execution. For processing using DRAM, we leverage the ISA extensions from PUD works like SIMDRAM, MIMDRAM, and Proteus. For in-flash processing, we leverage multi-word line sensing primitives from Flash Cosmos and arithmetic operations from Aries Flash for instruction transformation. So we have a lot more details in the paper. I will not go in the interest of time. We describe the data coherence mechanism across the SSD computation resources. We show how we map data and manage the data movement across these resources. How the host and SSD communicates in two modes, how Conduit handles failure in transient and permanent failures, its extensibility, and many more details. So I invite you to check the paper using this link. So I'll quickly move to the evaluation of this work. To evaluate Conduit and the prior offloading models, we develop an in-house event-driven SSD simulator that faithfully models the core SSD functionalities based on MQSIM, which is the state-of-the-art SSD simulator. We also model the DRAM using Gramulator. We model the shared resource contention across these resources, and then include the performance models for the three NDP paradigms. Our SSD configuration is based on Samsung's 980 Pro SSD. We evaluate 6 data-intensive workloads with varying arithmetic intensity, including workloads, Llama training and inference. And we evaluate the policies that I briefly showed earlier, the bandwidth-based offloading, data movement-based offloading, Conduit, and Ideal. So if we look at the performance of Conduit, we show in the green bar here, the light green bar, the speed up over CPU is what we show in the y-axis. Conduit outperforms the best performing prior approach by 1.8 times on average, and this is by purely making holistic decisions that considers various factors and mapping applications to different compute resources. It also provides 62% of an ideal policy's performance without making the unrealistic assumption that the ideal makes. Then we look at energy consumption, and we see similar benefits here. Conduit reduces energy consumption by 46% on average compared to DM offloading, and this is by reducing resource queuing delays and improving the execution time. And it also provides 68% of the energy efficiency of the ideal approach. Then we look at the offloading decisions of how these offloading models distribute computations across the different resources. And here we show the fraction of instructions that each offloading model offload to different NDP paradigms. And here we see that in several workloads, we observe that the ideal and Conduit makes very similar decisions. And also, if you look at workloads with lower memory intensity or arithmetic intensity, it basically prefers offloading to IFP or processing using DRAM to reduce data movement. So Conduit makes very similar decisions to an ideal approach without making the unrealistic assumptions again. So let's look at the overhead analysis of Conduit. In terms of storage overhead, we require around 17 bytes of SSD DRAM to store the cost function features. We require around 1.5 kilobytes to store the instruction transformation mapping for all the computation resources. In terms of runtime latency overhead, we require around less than 4 microseconds on average for the cost function feature collection and instruction transformation for each instruction. We don't add any area overhead beyond what these prior techniques already do. So again, we add more experiments in the paper. We look at tail latency evaluation, and we see significant benefits in tail latency. We also show how the workload and the SSD computation resources interact in the course of a workload execution. And we provide detailed description of overhead analysis, workload description and characteristics, and also elaborate on the methodology that we use. I invite you to check the paper and provide us feedback. So in summary, Conduit is the first general purpose programmer transparent NDP framework that enables fine-grained computation offloading across multiple SSD computation resources. We see significant performance and energy benefits over prior offloading models, and all these benefits come with low latency and storage overheads. That concludes my talk. Thank you for your patience, and I'll be happy to take questions.
So thank you for the great talk. I think that this is a really interesting topic, but could you please detail what the assumption you have on the IFP, for example? For example, there are a bunch of works recently proposed that put some really specialized hardware accelerators even inside the network, right?
Yeah.
But what did you assume on the IFP's computation capability?
So we look at two different sets of works. One set of works look at performing computations within the latching circuit. So it requires multiple sensing of the operands, and so we then look at works like Flash Cosmos, which propose bulk bitwise operations by reading multiple pages at once. So we are currently depending on these techniques to perform computations in the flash chips. So if Flash Cosmos can do bulk bitwise operations, we try to leverage that, because in order to reduce data movement, but or sensing overheads. But if we have more complex operations like arithmetic operations, we depend on AD's Flash.
Yeah, but still our Flash is somewhat general purpose, I would say. But to achieve the most highest efficiency, the highest efficiency, computation efficiency, more reasonable for me to put some dedicated accelerators. It may lose some generality, but for sure you can achieve high performance and even energy efficiency. And we have some certain most specialized accelerators, then it will make the scheduling or operating strategy of the proposals much simpler.
I completely agree with you. That's part of the extensibility of Conduit. So if we add more hardware accelerators at different places in the SSD, then it's still simple to extend Conduit's offloading function to leverage these new hardware accelerators. And we provide more details in the paper regarding that. So currently we kind of rely on the inherent capabilities that have been proposed in prior works to do this, but in the future we can extend it for accelerators.
But it makes sense that still that your proposal can work with you.
Exactly.